Welcome to this episode of CGTN live streaming. I'm Xu Xinchen, and today we're going to have a special project to introduce to our viewers around the globe, and we're going to have an exclusive talk with one of a special guests here with us today. So first, let's talk about the pictures behind me. This picture collage and the board, and on this board, and we have 365 different photos on this one single collage. And some people might start thinking, and you might be right, these are the daily changes to one single spot in Beijing's central business district. And through this one shot, we're going to see the Beijing television tower in the photo. But of course, some of the days, we can clearly see the tower, but some of the days, the tower will be a little more distant just because of the pollution and the smog surrounded it. And some of the days, and the people cannot even see the tower. And some people might wonder, and who took those photos? Were those photos from an authority here in Beijing? And in fact, actually, those photos were taken by a regular Beijing born resident here. And we're going to have a talk with the photographer of these photos. And welcome to us, Zou Yi. Yeah. And this is Mr. Zou Yi, and who took all the photographs that documented the changes to Beijing skyline around the CDB area. And today, here we have over 1,800 different photos documenting the past 5 years. But first of all, let's just tell us a little more, what's the motivation and what really made you to take the initiative and took the first photo in 2013?
Okay, that's just because of the heavy smog happened in the 2013, early in that year, and which is a heavy smog we never experienced before. Mm-hmm. So by that time, I have nothing to do and just simply pick up my phone and shot the air and see to document. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the only purpose. Mm-hmm. For me to start this kind of program. Yeah.
But then, from the latest data, and we know that Beijing, the city, has successfully reduced the number of heavily polluted days annually from over 50 days into today around 23 days a year. And did you actually, your documentation also reflect the similar truth?
Almost the same level, most the same level from the year of 2013 till to the 17. We are very close. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my observation and also with the Beijing municipal government, the numbers, the levels are almost almost the same level, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
for me, actually, because I moved overseas in 2007, and during that time, because I was born in Shanxi, Taiyuan, which is also a polluted city and polluted area, is the province for coal mining. Yeah. But however, when I left China for my higher education, smog, and that word hasn't really been used that often. So what really happened like around the 2012 or 2010 period?
Well, you see the the structure of energy of our country. We mostly depend on the coal mining and coal consumption, so which produce a lot of these emissions, and that's why the government right now is push. To pressure to adopt the clean energy. Yeah, to reduce the coal mining and the coal consumptions. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But just as a local Beijinger, did you actually witness like the changes to the skyline? Just for example, in the 1990s, was the sky blue back then, and something just happened to it? It started to be more polluted.
No, just because of the early in 2013, we start to. Notice that we have the problem of air quality. Before, let me say 5 or 10 years before, we didn't notice of that, unless a lot of people say, well, we cannot stay far during the heavy smog days. So that's by that time, we have the concept of the highway pollution and the smog, the weathers. Yeah.
But then if we're speaking of Beijing's effort or even China's efforts to curb the pollution, and we see there are a lot of different policies rolled out in recent years, like curb manufacturing and to shut down a lot of factories, and even change local heating system and from traditional coal to gas, natural gas, and even to electricity. Do you think that's the right track for the government to pursue to just bring the blue sky back?
Well, from my point of view, that I think that's the right direction to change that way. But the step we should, do we need that rapidly and to change just overnight? So that will bring more problems for the people. So the direction is good. It's no problem. So the procedure we should study and to evaluate how fast and how the proper way we should to proceed to that point. Yeah.
Let's come back to your photos. And this is the year of 2016. And I mean, how can people tell from the pictures, like, if there is a smog or like what are the different? Just because we can see the blue sky, definitely, I think it's a clear day. But then from other days, it's hazy, but still that we can see the building there.
Yeah.
How can this really reflect the stays in 2016 about Beijing's air quality?
Can you tell whether it's a good day or not day? Is it good or not? I think that's polluted. Okay, compare with this one. Yeah. And you can see from this structure, this is the Beijing television station. And that far, 2 buildings are the China World Tower. So if you can see them clearly, at the same time, yeah, that's the good day.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the normally that's the very first reflection of the whether it's the haze day or not. Yeah.
But then if we also can see some of the days we cannot even see the building. So what's the PM 2.5 level like on these kind of days, like when we cannot see the towers?
It's over 300. I mean, it's kind of the high level. It's high level. It's over 300 AQI.
But just from the different years, are we actually improving just by looking at these pictures? Because we know the number of heavily polluted days have been reduced, but still there are other days that are polluted or lightly polluted. Are those days also reducing?
Yes, we are reducing from the turn point is in this year, 2016, and in this year, 2017, we have more clear days. We have more, good days, more than the previous years. And in this year, we have about year on year, we have about over 20% improvement. Yeah.
But then if we look at towards the end of 2017, and actually, it has one of the most cleanest winter Beijing has seen ever for the past 5 years. So what have been done by the local government, like really kind of achieve this kind of result?
Well, the effort and achievements, we can see at the same time, the government has done a great deal. Great deal. I mean, compared to the previous years. This year, the government have done a great, and the central government, the local government, and also the societies, and the people. So you can see November, December, compared to the previous years, we achieved, we obtained the most, how you call this, the good days, these seasons,
And this marks the 5th year for your project. And are you ending the whole project, or just because it's a 5-year mark?
I'm not sure whether it's the ending or it's another. It's another start of the project. Well, I'm not yet confirmed. So I need to get the suggestions or advice from the my friends and my colleagues whether we should move at the same to continue our program for the next 5 years or not. Yeah.
Because from what I learned, when you first took the picture and shared them on the internet, it was more like a hobby, is in addition to your regular job. So has it grown into a full-blown organization just because we have the Beijing Air now?
Yeah, Beijing Air now, which will bring the instant air quality for people. So air now means now you can see it, and that's the quality you can obtain. And we just established our organization in last April, and we have a group of people. They have the same, desire, to support my program. So maybe we can continue, but not that this way. This is too hard for me and for anybody to continue. To keep this kind of work for the whole 5 years. Right now, we have a group of scientists. We are developing a kind of high-tech, which you can just simply take a picture. And that technique will tell you exactly the weather quality, whether it's a haze or it's a clear day or it's a whatever. So we just approach it that, and we call it. It depends on the image analysis, and you see, compare all what I have done for the past 5 years. I've been taking about over 500,000 pictures, which cover every situation of the weather. So compare with what I've done, so we can predict, the technique can predict the weather anytime, not only in Beijing, in China, and all over the world. And that kind of project, that kind of the technology, the tech is under the big data, and also the artificial intelligence. Yeah. So we are still working on it, and it's improving every day. Maybe by the in March this year, we will how you call it?
Launch
for the free use of the by app. Yeah.
So does it mean like right now you have a full-blown organization or even like a charity, and how that people can tell like what really is this organization about? It's just a group of volunteers, or actually
all volunteers. They have their their day job, and also they have interest of supporting my project.
And even those scientists.
Yes, all the scientists all over the world. We have about over 20 from China, most of them from China, and also we have some of them from America and from England and Israel. And about 2 weeks ago, I'm showing you what I have achieved. We get support by Ministry of Environmental
Protection.
The Protection Ministry, and also the one of the auto company, and this is the technology we have developed, which is to protect, to monitor the PM 2.5. Yeah.
So what I understood is like this whole, like for example, like we can see on the trophies like 北京一目了然 NGO PM 2.5 浓度水手拍. It means like people can use their phone to take a snapshot of the environment, of the skyline, of the environment that we're in, and there are technologies involve big data and artificial intelligence that can tell you the concentration of PM 2.5 particle at that very location and at the very time.
Yeah.
So right.
Yeah. Also outdoor. Yeah, outdoor. Anytime. We have a app which will be available in March. So by that time, anybody can download it and you can use and to tell you the air quality. Yeah.
But then how accurate is the technique? Just because we can see here, like from Zou's work and from Beijing Air now, we can see the average annual PM 2.5 level is about 59, a little bit over 59. But then from the Beijing's official number, it's like around 58.
58, yeah.
So what really made the differences?
The location. The government. I mean, this number which I published yesterday by the Beijing government. It's average. They cover all the Beijing. The whole Beijing. And my point is just around the center of town. It's around the CBD. Yeah.
And then just back to the organization, like, are you doing this full time now?
Yeah, I'm doing this for full time. Yeah.
But then, just like, how long do you think this whole thing will last? What's the contribution from your project? Do you think, just because right here we have the documentation and we can offer people a way to detect and monitor the environment, but what's the contribution to the overall the environmental protection move here in China?
You know, we have kind of some support from some institutes or organizations, and also this kind of pictures which will be transferred into data, into information of the air quality, and this will be very useful, a kind of support to the government, and that's which is recognized by the Ministry of Environmental Protection and also for the Beijing Municipal Protection. And normally we often to share the the data with each other. Yeah.
So from the data that you collected and those photos and the official data, do you think that China can achieve its goal by 2020 to move their target, to meet their targets in regards to environmental protection?
Yeah, I read the newspaper this morning, and the target I'm very optimistic. Such, and the maybe we can achieve before that deadline. Yeah.
So the number is 35?
No, it's about 56. So from 58 down to the 56 in 2 years, I believe we can reach that. Maybe by the end of this year, we can reach that.
But then it's still a long way from like the recommendation level by the World Health Organization, right?
Yeah, that's very hard. That's very it's pressing. So that maybe will take a long time. Maybe within 5 years or 10 years to reach to about 15 how you call it?
Milligrams per
cubic meters. Yes. That maybe to that point, to that level, that will take about at least 5 years from our study. Yeah.
But then in addition to PM 2.5 particles, there are also like PM10 and all the other pollutants. Do you think these other pollutants are also pressing issues in regards to the environment?
Yes, of course. It's you can see from the the most difficult is the 2.5, PM 2.5, and the other articles will be to control simultaneously. It's at the same time. If we come back simultaneously, simultaneously. Yeah.
So just like compare with because I heard like you have volunteers or even scientists from other countries. Just are like in London, for example, many years back, they also experienced like environmental pollutions heavily, and the United States also had their time dealing with their environmental problems. So just compare different countries. Are there similarities or differences in the process of dealing with the environment?
Ours is much difficult. It's much complex. And compared to London and to Americans, so we are more difficult to control and to.
Why is that?
Because the problem behind is quite different, yeah. So the mainly on the the structure of our energy consumption, because China we are more consumed on the coal. And let's say in the next 10 or 20 years, the coal consumption is still our major energy. the producer. Yeah.
So let's just go back to the first year when we started the project. Like, let's just compare with how, like, the changes happen here. Like, literally, we cannot even see. So, are these days the most polluted days? Like, when you started to do
that's why. That's the reason. That's the reason I started this my project, because of the bad days and the heavy the smog days. Yeah.
But then, just can you still remember like what really happened when these like situation happened back then?
You mean, well, if you see the pictures, sometimes the picture speaks more than words. If you see the picture, you can see the situation is too bad. But at times, even myself, I was complaining. I was saying, what happened? And how the government can help, and how the ordinary people can do to work with the government to reduce the pollution. So, but that time, nobody has a clear day, has a clear mind. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zou. And I'm going to wrap up right here. And thanks so much for Zhou's document over the past 5 years about Beijing's skyline in the central business district. And please join us for our next live streaming and soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.